Okay, so my colleagues told me to be natural, and what comes natural to me is complaining about people doing things wrong. Okay, that's what comes most naturally to me. First thing that I want to say is that the dates that were shown up there for your deadlines were November 1st through December 5th, okay? No one informed me of when your deadlines were, so I had to go ahead and set the dates for the exams. So you all have the mobility app, and you will see that the dates for the testing go all the way into January, okay? Because if someone doesn't give me information, I'm going to find the rooms, because I'm the one that's doing it, and I do it all by myself, okay? So I have to find the rooms. Also, based on past experience, I have offered dates as early as October or early November, and no one shows up, okay? Based on my experience, you will all wait until the very last minute to do your language test, okay? That is not advisable, because why go through all these problems of applications if you're not going to pass the English test, okay? So I will tell you what you can contact me for, okay? So in terms of what's on the Erasmus website, once again, the krok za krokem information is generally wrong. Every semester I send them corrections to put on there. It's generally wrong. No one changed it. So in the section for contacting me, you contact me only for the Erasmus written exam that I administer. That's it. I don't do anything with previous exams. I don't certify any other exams. That's not what I was asked to do by the International Department, so I don't do it. Until they ask me to do it, I will not, okay? I am assuming that everyone here is FEL. This is a FEL presentation, correct? So as FEL students, you have the advantage of using your required subject, the BO, BO4, B2Z, klasifikovaný zápočet. You all have to do this, okay? You have to fulfill this. If you take the actual test, you may get a certificate from me based on that exam, okay? It's equal. Let's say, okay? So I do the Erasmus exams, and I do the FEL exams. So if you do one of those, you can get an exam, a certificate from me. So if you've done it in the past, okay? That's all you can ask me about. I do not confirm other exams. I do not confirm previous exams, okay? If you did an exam, Erasmus exam, 3 years ago, then you went and studied, and now you need it to be recertified, that's not what I was asked to do. So I don't do it, okay? I don't know who does, so you have to ask them, okay? All examinees who sit, this is the important part, all examinees who sit a written examination with me are notified of their result within 24 to 48 hours of having sat the exam. So if you're going to do an Erasmus exam with me, you will get your result, and if you pass, you will get your certificate. So there's no reason to contact me if you've taken a test. You cannot contact me and say, I took the test with you 2 years ago, can I have my certificate? If you took the test with me 2 years ago, you will have, within 2 days, you will have received an email from me, and if you were successful, you will have received your certificate. If you didn't get it, that means you took it with someone else, and you should contact them, okay? So all examinees who've sat an exam with me were successful, have already received it, okay? So I know we're supposed to do the official thing, but I want to do this in sections. So very quickly, does anyone have questions about that part of this? I know we do. Yes?
We will receive an email that we didn't pass as well.
Yes. For the Erasmus exam, for both exams, you receive an email from me immediately, okay? Pass or fail. For the Erasmus exam, if you pass, you get your certificate automatically. With the FEL required subject, you will receive information that you passed. I don't give everyone a certificate. You have to request it, okay? You have to request it from me, okay? I'll move on because now there's the information about this FEL part, okay? So according to, now this is the important part, because again, I'm having a lot of students contact me and they don't get certificates from me. This is the information on the website. FEL students, excuse me, who achieve a final grade or mark of 70% or more on the FEL exam may, starting in the winter 21-22 semester, may request a confirmation level certificate from me. That is the information that is on the website, okay? That is the rule. So, first of all, no certificates are issued if you did the exam before January, February 22. Anyone here do the exam before January, February 2022? You don't get a certificate for it from me. Okay? You have to take the Erasmus exam now. We did not, our department was not asked to take over the testing until November or so 2021. So we had to figure out a way of making the points match. So the points match, everything else. Then I started doing both. So that's the semester it starts. So again, I'm having a lot of students request them saying, I did it 5 years ago, I did it 4 years ago. You don't get one from me. You have to then what's your solution? Take the Erasmus exam. That's it, okay? Request must include the semester the exam was taken and your date of birth. Any requests for me for a certificate must have your date of birth. Please, in the European format, I don't know why people send me English format. We're in Europe, day, month, year, your date of birth, okay? If you should get it. A final mark of 70 or more may request. It is not guaranteed, okay? Many people pass with about 70% or 75%, but they don't complete the exam. If you want a certificate from me based on the exam, all parts of the exam must be completed, and all parts must be completed according to the instructions, okay? It's easy to do. Follow instructions, okay? FEL subject can be used for Erasmus. So again, if you're doing the FEL, if you've done it in the past or you're going to do the FEL exam, you can use that to fulfill this part of the application process. Those of you who are going to take the Erasmus exam, because I do it, if you pass, you may use that to fulfill your B2 klasifikovaný zápočet subject requirement, okay? It's not automatic. I don't keep a list. So if you pass that exam, you need to let me know when you've registered for this subject. You need to send me an email, say, I am registered for the B2 exam this semester. I passed the Erasmus exam last year or last semester. I will look up your mark and I will put započet in for you, and that's done. Okay? So both of them. But that's only for FEL students, which is why I want to make sure everyone's FEL here. Okay? So both of those can be. So those are the points I wanted to make. So questions about that part before I move on? No? Do you understand me when I speak? Just making sure, okay? Because this is the look I get all the time. Okay? And I'm sure you got the same look in Czech. Yeah. Okay. Testing. The test itself, both tests, both exams. The written examination assesses academic English, which includes a knowledge of appropriate register, meaning level of formality, and appropriate styles, formats, meaning university-level academic style texts, not informal street or TV English, which you're also proud of, okay? That's not what I want to see. On the exam, there's no slang, there's no non-standard English, no gonna, okay? You may be proud of that, but that's not what's going to be in your university classes, okay? So that's not what belongs on the exam, and you will be assessed on that. So some of you may receive a slightly lower grade than you expect because you think your English is great because your English friends tell you it is, but we're looking for academic English, okay? It is also not the language of a WhatsApp or SMS or the equivalent of an online article on Yahoo, okay? So you need to learn what academic English is, okay? Once again, that doesn't mean pass, fail. It just means the people who want those higher grades, okay? Mobility app. This again, I'll complain about this. I have no access to the mobility app, okay? I have no access. I was promised access. I have no access to the mobility app. That means when you get your certificate from me, it will list CTU points. That's your 1 through 20 points, I think, 0 through 20, up to 20. It will list that on the certificate, and it will also list your IELTS level, okay? It will list your IELTS level. I have no access to the mobility app, so I cannot put the points into your application. When you take an exam with me, I notify you, and I notify the international department of everyone's result for that day, and they assure me that they put your results into your mobility app. So don't send me emails that say, I received a certificate from you with 15 points, but the 15 points were never put into the mobility app. If that's the problem, contact them. I have no access to it, okay? Also, since I have no access to it, I am generally notified 2 or 3 days before the exam. So if you register for an exam, okay, I have no idea who is registered until a few days before. Once that closes, I still can't see it. The international department sends me a list of students who are supposed to come that day. If you are not going to come, and for some reason you are able to pull your name out of the app, I don't know you are not coming. So please send me an email to tell me. It's annoying. Every testing session, I have 30 students here, and we're waiting for 5 students who are not going to show up because they withdrew their names, but I don't have access, so I can't see. Okay? Very annoying. Okay? And one last thing, ELSA modifications. I don't know if anyone has them, but just like any courses, you are allowed certain ELSA modifications, okay? But I must receive the documentation from the ELSA department a minimum of 1 week before you plan on taking your exam. And all students with ELSA modifications must contact me directly because the most common requirement, or the most common modification is extra time. And I cannot give you extra time in these rooms because I booked the room for 90 minutes, okay? So I cannot give it to you. So if you have ELSA modifications, contact me and I'll arrange. You'll simply do it in my office at a certain time individually, okay? That's all I wanted to mention specifically. I didn't bring any copies of the exam. There should be two sample exams on the Erasmus website. I think I've created 2 sample exams. You can look at them. In terms of marking, a common question I get is students want to know how it's marked. There are 55 questions on the exam, and then there is a writing part, okay? You need to get 50% of the 55 questions correct. Each question, 1 point, okay? Every question is a point. You need to get 50% of those correct before I even will look at the writing part. If you do not get 50%, I don't even read the writing part because you haven't qualified. Once you get 50%, depending on your percentage, you get put into a certain category, CTU points or IELTS levels, 10 points, 11 points, 12 points, 13 points. And then what your writing does is your writing confirms that level. So if your test suggests that you are B2 upper level, I will read your writing and check to see if it is B2 upper level. If it is not, you will likely get a certificate that says B2 middle level. Okay? So that's the general way it is. So the writing basically confirms your level. Okay? That's basically all I have. Questions? Whoa.
So if I understood correctly, you get CTU points from the test, which help you with getting into the university you want. The more points you have, the better it is.
Yeah, that's the part I don't know about. Students always ask me about how many points do I need if I want to study there. That's something that's the international department, that's something that everyone else knows. I don't know the levels you need, but yes, the CTU points correspond with levels. So in other words, 10 CTU points is the minimum you must get. 10 CTU points means that your level would be assessed at a borderline B1, B2 level. So that's quite low. Okay? So if you get 10 points, it means that. 11 points basically means B2, very low. 12 points means B2, middle, but on the low side. So there's a very big scale, okay? So the percentage makes the points.
And how is it, how many points do you get if you bring in, if you have a certificate and you get, no idea.
What did I say, people? I do not confirm other tests. I do not do that. That's okay, not my job.
I didn't say it correctly. If I have a Z from the English course.
Yes?
So I qualified the
Not an English course, the English subject. That is the mandatory exam subject.
yeah. And if I have the English subject,
You need a minimum of 70% on that exam to qualify. The difference is the percentages, because the purpose of that exam is not Erasmus. The purpose of that exam is to fulfill your European-wide requirement of passing a B2 exam before you finish your bachelor studies. That's the main reason you take that exam. We were able to adjust that exam, the scoring on that exam, to match the Erasmus exam because I do both. So 50% to 100% on the Erasmus exam, I've done my calculations, and that equals between 70% and 100% on the FEL exam. The FEL exam is longer, okay? The FEL exam is longer. There are no oral exams, by the way. No, I don't do oral exams. I was never asked to, and I don't, okay?
I ask because I passed the English subject with an FCE certificate.
If you fulfilled this subject in any other way than taking the exam with me, then you use the FCE that you used for them. If you used an FCE certificate to fulfill the anglický jazyk B2 zkouška subject, then you may use the same certificate to fulfill that. I'm not going to give you a certificate if you didn't take a test with me.
I need to ask someone who knows more about the certificates, I guess.
I know about the certificates.
Who does the certificates?
You can ask them all you want. I'm telling you right now, if you're a FEL student and you have fulfilled your required subject by handing in a certificate, we're not going to give you another certificate. Here's your FCE. Here's your FCE. You use this to fulfill your B2 Z. Now you're applying for Erasmus. Here's your FCE. Use that FCE for Erasmus. But I suspect you're asking me because the FCE might be too old now.
No, I'm asking how many points do I get for FCE?
That's not my business. That's not my question. Ask the international department. But that's a very good question because, again, so what he said is, again, I get that as well. I'll get students from 4 or 5 years ago saying that I passed that subject because I had an FCE or CAE. I showed my exam. They gave me započet. So I have započet. Can you give me a certificate? No. The problem is if your FCE or FCE or CA is too old, then you have to take the exam again. Okay? I'm not going to give a certificate based on another certificate. Okay? But you're right. Ask someone else about the points on that. I know that they have a list somewhere. There's a list. I saw it. I don't keep it anymore. But I know the international department does have a list about however many points, because FCE is like 120 points or something like that. I don't know what it is. You get all these points. Ask someone else. Next question.
Thanks.
Another question? I saw other hands.
I would like to ask if I already did the English exam on FEL and I wasn't satisfied with the mark, could I take the Erasmus exam as well? And oh, okay.
Yes. Yes. You cannot take the Erasmus exam twice. You cannot take our exam twice. If you are not satisfied, that being said, those of you, it sounds like many of you will be taking the B2 Z exam in the future. If I didn't see a lot of hands go up, the only option is if you take our exam, the FEL exam, and you get a D or a low grade. Theoretically, you may take that more than once, but you have to request that I give you an F. So if you got a C, which is a passing grade for a mandatory subject, and you would like to try again for a better grade, you have to request that I give you an F, and that counts as one failed attempt. And then you can take it again, but if you fail, okay, so it's your choice. But you have to let me know immediately before the end of the period.
Okay.
Okay? But yes.
A moment ago, you were suspecting that my colleague has an old FCE exam. Just to confirm, if that was the case, he would have to take the FEL Erasmus exam, right?
The Erasmus exam, not the FEL exam, but the Erasmus exam.
Yeah.
Yes, if you have something that is expired,
That's fair.
you have to take another, you have to just take the exam over again.
Thanks for the confirmation.
Okay, I think behind you, yeah.
How long does it take for the FCE or CAE certificate to expire?
I don't know. I think they're good for 4 years, I think, or possibly 5. It's something like that. It should say on the International Department information, it should say, okay? But I believe it's 4 to 5 years. This guy down here wants the mic if you pass it forward. Keep coming, keep coming. Oh, I thought it was you. Yeah, didn't you have your hand up? You, with the white shirt. You had your hand up. I know you had your hand up. Ah, okay. All right. Anything else? Sorry. Yeah. Oh, boy. This guy again.
Are there different exams than B2, or is it only B2?
Both of our exams, because we were asked to do this, both of our exams have been modified to, you can, depending on your result on both of those exams, you can go as high as C1. Okay, so on either of these exams, there's one Erasmus exam, many different versions, but one Erasmus exam. There's one FEL B2 exam, many different versions, but one exam. For all of them, when I mark them, I can assess your grade all the way up into the C1 levels, okay? Which would be up to, I believe I can go up as high as 19 points. 19 points.
I guess this is not a question for you, but rather here. What is the deadline in the application of Erasmus when we need the tests? Like, when do we need the results from the tests?
I think that you should have it before you fulfill the application to the university. But as was said, actually, it would be nice to have as soon as possible.
The problem
is don't wait actually for the last term. It doesn't make sense. So.
Yeah, trust me, people. Your English isn't going to improve by waiting a couple of weeks. Trust me, it's not. The problem, and I think that Ms. Chigashova, whom I know, she's might be also referring to the fact that your deadlines that you had written were the November 1st through December 5th, and I do not start. If you have the mobility app, you can see when the terms start. My first term is on November 30th, and I think there's only 10 spaces. I'm offering about 400 or more spaces. 180 of those are in the last week, which is the first week of the exams. Okay? And once again, the only reason I'm doing that is because I was not notified of any of these dates. No one told me of any of these dates. And I work in the language department and we don't have rooms. I have to go and find rooms like this one. So I had to send out emails and find rooms and find them for dates that I'm available. So you will notice that the Erasmus exams start on November 30th and end on January 16th or 18th. In the middle of January. The vast majority of the dates are there because I could get the bigger rooms because it's exam time, okay? But if you want to take it earlier, you'll see that there are exams starting November 30th, if you're ready for it. And if you do it, for example, if you do it, you can do it and you can use it to fulfill your B2Z. Okay?
So if I want to apply for next year on Erasmus Plus, I should apply before December 5th, and I should take the tests before December 5th.
Well, no before the December 5th, but as soon as possible. The deadline is the middle of January, but you should take into account that those tests are for all students from whole city, not just from the family. So, and as colleague of mine just said, there's a lot of students in the end of the deadline. So in the middle of January, everyone would like to take a test, but the terms in December is empty. So.
Okay, so we need to have the test before the application on the university that is different from the application on Erasmus+. Okay, and every single university has a different, I guess. Okay, thank you.
From what I understand, I notified the international department when no one told me of the dates. I notified them of the dates because they put it into the mobility app, and I said, I hope this is okay. And I received a response that said, yes, it's fine. So if those dates, if I was told those dates are fine, then I would assume that those dates are fine, okay? Yeah, as my colleague said, that I have offered them in the past early, but I keep statistics, and I would say I do about 400 to 500 students at this university just for Erasmus every year, which includes first and second round, okay? But we're talking about 300 to 350 just now alone in this time, okay? And in the past, I would get about 20 in November, about 100 in December, and then the remaining 200 in the last few tests, okay? You have your schedules to keep, but I have a feeling that if I'm any judge of my English students here, you all wait till the last minute because you think you'll do better and you want that extra ride on the tram to study, right? But it's not going to help. Sorry, it's probably not. Okay? Anything else? And also, you were mentioning English classes. I think you were talking about also classes taught in English. But please don't forget about the courses, the English courses that we offer here, okay? Pre-registration is started yesterday, and there's 2 weeks of pre-registration. The vast majority of our English courses here are purpose-based, okay? They're there to teach you how to write more professionally or more professional or academic English. We have professional English, business English, academic writing, presentation skills, technical English. There's 2 conversation courses which are more relaxed, but they can help. But most of them are based in improving your English in terms of university English, okay? So that's all.